Okay, welcome back. We are joined by Cary Hendricks. So, Cary, hey,
Hey, buddy.
how you doing, man?
Hey,
I'm
Cary.
cool. Hey, buddies.
So, you are not in South Africa, although you are originally from South Africa.
That's correct, yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about you. Would you like to give us a little bit of a flavour of who you are and what kind of stuff you do?
Oh, yeah. I run a small company in Glasgow, ID Cyber. We do try and help loads and loads and loads of companies just getting cyber secure and so on. Personally, myself, former military, jumped into another company let's loosely call it records management for the intelligence agencies. I jumped in there, and of course, it opened a whole new world. And later on, cyber just joined the game. So yeah, all cool.
So, give us an indication of what your average day is like. What do you do?
Whew.
If you can tell us, of course.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of different days. Some days it may be helping folks through an incident response after being hacked or a security breach or something like that. Some days it'll be training loads of different folks on how to be more secure. Sometimes running hacker courses. But by far the biggest part of my day, my normal days, are to do with cyber essentials and how to get businesses involved into just shore themselves up in a way that they don't get hacked, they don't make silly mistakes, ensuring that the controls are in place, and keep as much away from the user as possible in terms of the pitfalls and so on.
Yeah, cool. On the matter of cyber essentials,
Yeah.
There are dissenting voices in the industry around the validity and the quality of cyber essentials. And in fact, in August, I was at a meeting with GCHQ, or the NCSC, I beg your pardon. And there were people in the room who are employed by Her Majesty's government who said it was rubbish and they wish they'd never done it. What are your thoughts on that in terms of the quality of what it can bring to increasing the posture and the robustness of a company's security?
Okay, the very first things that people should remember: this isn't a pen test.
No.
For a start, this is not going to be a be all end all thing, but it's one of those things that if you had no money to spend on your organization, and there was a set of guidelines you could follow that would actually make you more secure, being more up to date and so on, then it's a fantastic way to go. Now, I've been at many of the meetings with NCSC as well. So, and the thing that we're trying to instill in people is just get the basics right. Go back to the basics. Just just do it. For example, earlier on mentioned about passwords on printers and exposing stuff to the internet. Part of all of this is checking: have I exposed anything to the internet?
Yeah.
Sure.
Have I upgraded the firmware? Have I patched my devices? Have I patched the operating systems? Are the things that I use from day to day connecting to the internet, is that up to date? Does my antivirus work? Does my mail get filtered so that any dangerous content gets quarantined before it actually gets to me?
Yeah.
And similarly with browsers, what happens if I manage to click on a dodgy link and I download something? What will happen? Will it be quarantined? Will it be allowed? What types of things will be allowed? How many clicks does it take to execute the thing? When does antivirus kick in? When does even group policies coming in terms of where stuff can execute from your system?
That's right.
So it's all stuff that you can do, and it's not stuff that you have to spend $1 million on.
Yeah, it's a
And
fair point.
a lot of cases, it's included in the operating system, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
BitLocker and App Locker, and it sometimes feels that the Windows operating system is actually a security solution that also runs programs.
Yeah.
So one of the criticisms I've heard, and I'm a huge believer in cybersecurity essentials. Actually, I feel like it should be a minimum data protection standard
Yeah.
adopted by the UK government, and maybe we're moving in that direction. But the big thing that was missing from the standard was backup. They didn't mention daily backup or daily offsite
Yeah.
backup. Is that an oversight, or is it just
Um,
because it wasn't that component wasn't really considered a security thing by the purists?
right. So no, it's not so much about being purists and everything else. So um, the basic cyber essentials part is about just having the basics in place, right? So it's all it's all the things in. So once you move up to Cyber Essentials Plus, where it's an audited part of all of this, it actually goes in, and one of the questions in there, what is your backup strategy? How, do you have an online backup strategy? Do you have offsite and everything else like that? So you do get to ask the questions during a physical audit of the organization. Whether if it's part of the basic part, yeah, I suppose they could have asked it in. But there's about more than 50 questions already.
Yeah.
So, and we don't want to sort of exhaust them by just
Can I ask you a tough question about
go.
that? Because I would suggest to you, like, cybersecurity essentials level 1, which
Mm-hmm.
is essentially what the business can self-attest to,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is it useful at all? Because the business may not even be able to answer those questions, right?
No, okay. So that is a brilliant question. So we've had many instances. I mean, to be fair, we do more than 1,000 of these a year. So,
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
so, so, so the so the issues is that smaller companies that maybe have a managed service provider, they don't know what service the managed service provider actually provides. So the
Right.
questionnaire can act as a checklist so that you can actually go through and says, well, have you changed my passwords? Have you stopped my stuff being exposed onto the internet, like my printers and NAS drives and whatever? You know, um, are you updating my antivirus? What other things are you putting in to actually protect my business? So if at any stage the guys will actually come back and say, we're going to have to give you a quote on that. They are not doing the basics. They are
Yeah.
not doing the basics to keep you safe.
I love it. I just love it.
So
we'll send you a quote for the basic stuff that we already told you we were doing, but never put it in writing.
I think it's an interesting point. I wasn't being mischievous at the start about criticizing Cyber Essentials. It's
No.
It does get bad press, and obviously there are reasons that you've described why it's a good thing. And I think the conclusion for me is that doing something like Cyber Essentials, and I'm guessing there are other similar frameworks that you can adopt, is better than doing nothing.
I
And
100%
I think
agree.
that's the fundamental point.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is the UK Cybersecurity Essentials, arguably the first sort of standard geared to small, medium business, has been recently adopted by Canada. And then the Small Business Administrative Organization, SBA, in the US has also endorsed essentially a duplicate of cybersecurity essentials. So it is gaining some momentum. And I do know that if you're part of the Lloyd's banking group, you have to be cybersecurity essentials level 2 certified by a third party.
Yeah.
So it's starting to become a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Earlier on, Tim Morgan, he mentioned, that they use Cyber Essentials as a gap analysis. So, and it's a really good starting point, even before you think you're going to need a pen test or something like that. Going for a pen test before Cyber Essentials is stupid. And it's if you can catch all the low-hanging fruit first, that just makes the pen tester work a lot harder. And coming back to your thing about that, if you're a business customer, you need to have Cyber Essentials Plus. It just makes good sense. There's quite a lot of organizations that they'll only deal with other organizations if they are going to um, if they've proven to have all the basics in place, and um, if I'm going to receive data from you, I want to be sure that, or you would want to be sure that I'm well prepared for looking after it in terms of, I'm not going to get hacked, I'm not going to get my email compromised, I'm not going to.
Basic supply chain hygiene, right?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. So, Cary, we've seen you on the conference circuit quite a bit in the last year.
Yeah, baby.
Particularly up north of the border. We enjoyed your company at B-Sides Edinburgh, which was super cool. What are your thoughts on the information security community and the things that are going on? We've had a number of conversations with other people about it. What are your experiences?
Oh, being based in Scotland is just absolutely phenomenal. We have fantastic guys like Stu Hurst, just trying to do stuff. Your imitable Sean as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And I am super excited that things are gaining so much momentum. We're a tiny wee country, but things are just going absolutely fabulous. So this year, I was fortunate enough to do the keynote speech at the Glasgow Caledonians a cyber conference.
Yeah, awesome.
So their very first conference, being the very first speaker. So awesome, and there were so many people out there that they want to enter into cyber or information security. And and it's not just all about hacking. It's there's many more things, like even if you're a psychologist, even in administration, even if you want to be in forensics, if you want to be incident response, if you want to be I mean, it's so wide, and I'm so happy that there's so many programs out there for kids, younger kids, older kids, young adults, sort of middle adults, older adults, and then everybody, even old guys like me, and
us old guys like us.
Aye, and it's really heartening to know that nobody will really be excluded from this, because everybody can bring something to the party.
Yeah.
Be it experience, being learning off somebody, being a mentor to somebody, being, it's just such a diverse industry that it needs, and I really think it's going to grow huge.
Yeah, I agree. There's something for everybody, isn't there? And it's nice to see people specialize. But I guess I take some comfort in the fact that I'm not really a specialist. AppSec is where I come from. That's my background. But I do a bit of everything. I get involved in building access control and risk management and doing certs and PCI DSS and all that kind of stuff. There's just never a dull moment, and I kind of I like my role in the industry because it's for me it's suitably diverse. I do bits of everything, and I enjoy it for that reason.
Yeah. So earlier on, Dan Card referred to, we all should get back to the basics. Just, you can be an expert and stuff, but to understand what the expert bit is, you need to understand the basics, and you have to be really good at the basics. So much so, a lot of the work we get involved in, and certainly I myself, is working with the police. And, they have this massive struggle as well on how to do new stuff.
Yeah.
There's how do we investigate something? There's a new platform popping up. How do we even get on it, get stuff off it? How do we learn from it? And it's a massive thing if you're working in incident response. And there's, because incident response is not, it's not just hacking. It's what happens to the victims afterwards, the people.
Yeah.
Because we've seen some terrible, terrible, terrible things that happen on social media, where some posts will result in suicides, and
Of course, yeah.
and it's the race is on to how do we learn the new stuff, and how do we keep people from being safe on the new stuff.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. Another thing that you kind of touched on around the learning and the educating side of things is there's now a rise in the kind of blue team aspect of the industry in terms of conferences and the subjects and talk materials that are being put out, and I find that to be really refreshing, because previously when I looked at the speaker schedules of a lot of conferences, I'm not going to name any, but it tended to be all about reversing and hardware hacking and pen testing and all the kind of red team stuff and all of the adversarial kind of subjects. And I found it a little bit disheartening and off-putting, because that's not me. I'm interested in that kind of stuff, but I don't do that. I don't get paid to do that. I get paid to defend an organization and work with people doing that kind of work. And it's nice now seeing that the defender aspects of what we do are starting to get bubbled up to the surface publicly, and people are talking about it more freely, and I find that really refreshing.
Yeah, it's almost like we're starting to develop these bespoke tracts of information that if you're a red teamer, pen tester, reverse engineer, that's sort of like one track, and then if you're blue team, web application security, SIM, that on the other side, and then you have Mike and I on how to write emails and build PowerPoint presentations.
This is true. That's my day job.
And a long time ago, probably about a decade ago, I was working in an investigation team in Hong Kong going after organized crime. And,
cool.
And the good thing is, the criminals are no better at protecting their stuff either. So, they will still use password as a password, and they'll not protect stuff properly, leave open databases and all kinds of stuff. So, so the blue teaming, and operational security and all those kind of things are, just stuff. I believe just stuff that you have to know. Even if it's just learning how to set something up properly and not just go to the start, next, finish kind of thing. Does it work? Yeah, cool. We're ready to go. It's it's a far way from keeping stuff secure.
Yeah, agreed.
So
completely agree. All right, so we've got a minute left.
Okay.
In the minute we've got left, Cary, if you wouldn't mind just giving us an idea of what your next 12 months is going to be like.
Ooh, well, the next 12 months is going to be lots of lectures, lots of new courses. I've got a new course starting at one of the universities, which is brilliant. Hopefully this next year will be a full-on focus on getting more cyber essentials practitioners ready. Because if the government's going to make this a compulsory thing to do for businesses, we nowhere near have enough folks to do this. We're talking thousands and thousands of folks. So And over the last year in Scotland, we've trained probably about 400 of them.
Wow.
And it's even much more than what England and Wales and everybody else has. So Scotland is right at the top with the most people, and even for the small country that we are, we're nowhere near enough. We're nowhere near enough.
Sure.
So yeah, it's going to be a very heavy focus on training folks this next year into just either getting into cybersecurity or information security, be defenders, be analysts, be auditors, be just a consultant to say, tell me about passwords. You know, how do I install patches? How do I, just do the basic stuff, because that is very lacking.
Will you keep up the good work, Cary?
I'll try my very best.
Yep, we need
Thank
more
you
people.
so much,
we need
Cary.
more people like you that are bringing us along. So thanks ever so much, and thanks for joining us.
No worries. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.